Hi, Kellogg students. This is Miss Cynthia. As we are finishing the month of January, we wanted to continue talking about different character traits. So, for the remainder of the month, we're going to be talking about peer pressure and honesty, two character traits that hopefully will allow us to continue making great choices and will allow us to continue having a great rest of our school year. So, let's listen up. Now, let's quickly define peer pressure and the two types of peer pressure. Peer pressure is when others try to get you to act in a certain way or to try to get you to do something. It can influence the decisions that you make. So when we're feeling peer pressured, we have options, right? We have choices. And whatever they're asking you to do, and I say they, it might be your friends or just people in your life, it can influence you in a good way or a bad way. So, two types of peer pressure are positive and negative. A positive peer pressure means that what they're asking you to do or try to get you to do can be helpful. It's going to help you and it's going to influence you in a good way. Negative peer pressure, the second type of peer pressure, can cause you to make choices that are risky or unhelpful. So they're not going to be positive. When we're experiencing positive peer pressure, some of the things that we might be getting encouraged to do more of or start doing are things like showing more responsibility. So, again, maybe with some positive peer pressure from your peers, they're cheering you on to finish that hard work that you can't finish, or you might be feeling pressure to just say the truth and be honest with whatever just happened. Or perhaps you are practicing or they're encouraging you to be more considerate. Think about other people's feelings. And lastly, with positive peer pressure, you might be getting encouraged to be more helpful. Maybe they're pressuring you to help around more in the classroom or at home or with friends. Now, when it comes to negative peer pressure, this is when people are asking us to do things that are not helpful, that are going to get us into trouble, or are going to bring out a side of us that we're probably going to regret later. Some examples of negative peer pressure are perhaps you're cheating on a test, on a game, or maybe you're doing some bullying, or you're joining someone that is doing bullying, you're being part of it, or we're stealing, taking stuff away from our friends or our family, or you're just being very dishonest, not honest with who you are as a person. You're changing who you are just to maybe fit in, or you don't tell the truth because you don't want to get in trouble. But again, maybe you got caught, but you're like, I'm not going to say the truth. I'm going to keep lying about this. So these are some examples of negative peer pressure. Now, resisting negative pressure is easier said than done sometimes, especially when it comes to people that we love and trust that are asking us to do things. So, here are some tips on how you can try to resist that negative peer pressure. The first thing is take your time. Maybe pause, take a few deep breaths, or ask them if you can take a few days before you make a choice or a decision. Remember that it's easier to resist the pressure when you put some time and space between you and that situation. Another tip is consider your reasons. So when you're having to make a choice, ask yourself, well, what are my reasons for doing that? Is it because all my friends are doing it, or my best friend is doing it? Or you're afraid that they won't ever talk to you or like you or accept you? Ask yourself these questions. 3, set some boundaries. So you can speak up and be assertive. Politely speak up to that person that's asking you to do something that is not good for you. You can tell them how it's affecting you, that pressure that they're putting on you. You can say something to them like, it upsets me when blank, or I won't be able to keep hanging out with you if you don't respect my answers. So if you say no to them and they're still pressuring you, again, remember, you have the power to speak up. but you also have the power to step away from that person that's not pushing you to be the best that you can be. Lastly, maybe this friend or the person that's peer pressuring you just wants to hang out with you and they don't really know how to hang out with you or what to do other than by making these poor choices. So maybe offer an alternative instead of saying, yes, I will go with you and do some bullying because it's fun and drama is fun. Maybe you can say something like, hey, why don't we go and just hang out over here and do this instead? I'll bring a new activity so that way we're not bored. The last thing I want to tell you is that peer pressure and honesty are like best friends. If you continue to practice being honest, especially to yourself, you are going to make the best choices for yourself. You're going to stick to your values and your beliefs, and you're going to be the best that you can be. With honesty, that is the key thing that you can use to fight any negative peer pressure. Okay, Kellogg students, thank you for listening. Again, peer pressure can be a great thing. It can push us and encourage us to do amazing things that maybe we're kind of stuck in not wanting to do. And again, if it feels wrong, just don't do it. Follow your gut, like they say, follow your feelings. I encourage you. We have a great video by Dr. Carzoli telling us a little bit more about the relationship of peer pressure and honesty. So after this video, go ahead and watch it. It's really great. Bye, everyone.